Hi, I'm Rick McKeon, and today I'd like to share with you some ideas about motivation. Now, we all need a little motivation every now and then, but this topic is pretty important to me because I've recently gone through some pretty serious health issues, and I needed some motivation to make the diet and lifestyle changes necessary to get well. And I have found that willpower and just gritting your teeth and toughing it out, well, that doesn't last very long. At least it didn't for me. I needed some tips, some practices that could keep me motivated to do the things I had to do. I mean, 10 years ago, I had a heart attack and open heart surgery, triple bypass. And even that was not enough to motivate me to change. I changed my ways a little bit for a couple of months, but then I was right back to the old ways. And so started putting on the pounds and the blood pressure rising and all that. Well, about a year and a half ago, I woke up and my left arm was completely numb. I was partially blind in my right eye. A big portion of the field was gone, was black. So I went to the emergency room and discovered that my blood pressure was 225 over 135. I was in stage 3 kidney failure, had an enlarged liver, had neuropathy in my feet. I mean, multiple serious issues. In fact, an x-ray showed a spot on my lungs. And the oncologist said my blood work showed that I had bone marrow cancer. So I was in serious shape. So I decided right then and there that I needed to make some changes, and I knew it wouldn't be easy. So I want to share with you some concepts that helped me to regain my health, frankly. I didn't do it perfectly. I slipped and had setbacks and all that, but I kept getting on this program of a new plant-based diet, sobriety, and moderate exercise, and started seeing improvements. But I needed to stay motivated. So I want to share with you some of these tips. Now, your situation might not be as serious as mine was. Maybe you're just trying to complete a project that you've been procrastinating about. Maybe you just want to lose a few pounds, or whatever your situation. You could probably use some motivation too. So this is what I found. I'm sure these are not the only things, but these were very helpful to me. And they're not just some cute sayings from a self-help book. These are principles that I really needed to apply, and they were effective for me. Here we go. Number 1, become emotionally involved. Now, I'm an engineer by trade, logical, rational person, pretty stoic, never showed much emotion. But the logical approach didn't do it here. I discovered that if your thoughts are accompanied by emotions, it helps to drive it deeper into yourself, into your subconscious. So if you picture yourself as thin and strong and healthy, do more than just create that image. Feel the feelings, the joy, the happiness that you'll feel when you can move freely without pain, and you can see the progress you're making. So including some positive emotion, not negative emotion, like you're stupid and you always screw up. That's not the kind of emotion we want. We want positive, happy, optimistic emotion to accompany the vision of ourself getting better. So that's number 1. Number 2, well, I kind of mentioned number 2 already, positive versus negative. Like I said, with my heart attack, that was pretty scary. It got my attention, but only for a short while. Pain is not good. I mean, that's a motivator, but not as strong as becoming excited and happy and positive about working whatever program you have to work. So think about positive versus negative. Positive emotions, positive thoughts are a lot stronger in achieving your results than negative. It's like reward is better than punishment. That's number 2. Number 3, jump in with both feet. There's a saying that goes, everything in moderation. Well, maybe that works for some people, but that did not work for me. I needed to jump in with both feet, become fully committed, and really made it kind of the center of my life because my situation was pretty serious, to get well. So jump in with both feet. If I wanted to eat a proper diet, I didn't want to eat like some junk food and then mostly healthy eating. Because whenever I ate junk food, pizza and burgers and fast food, packaged food, that was my standard fare. Frozen meals that I stuck in the microwave, packaged food loaded with, salt, sugar, fat, and chemicals. So I needed to jump right in with both feet, make a commitment. Number 4, I call it the healthy life cycle. I think about this. I was talking to my son when I was pretty sick, and my legs hurt so bad and my weight was so bad that I could hardly walk. So I wasn't getting any exercise. And he brought up the idea of, the downward spiral. Well, there's also a healthy cycle. And here's the diagram that I use. Increased activity, you lose some weight, and then you get increased motivation for more activity. So there's not just a downward spiral, there's an upward spiral, the healthy cycle. That's number 4. Number 5, have a plan with specific goals. Some short-term goals, some longer-term goals. Make them specific, make them realistic, and also make them measurable. So write it out on a piece of paper. Don't just think about it. I think writing it out helps you to organize your thoughts and makes it more likely that you'll reach those goals. Number 6, keep track of your progress. It helps to motivate you, helps you to see where you've come from and where you're going to. In my case, there could be many other things, but in my case, I keep a blood pressure log with blood pressure and weight. I have what I call a baseline hike that I like to do. I like to keep track of how I'm doing with that, how far I go, how many times I have to stop. And I keep a health diary. Not every day, but just like for major events, either good ones or bad ones. So I'm kind of keeping track of my progress that way with a health diary. Number 7, watch health videos and inspiring stories. This for me is really important. I subscribe to a channel called FMTV, which is Food Matters TV. Also on Netflix, there's some great health videos. And so I try to watch a health video or read in a book every day. Very motivating to me. It's part of my education too, in terms of, I'm not a doctor or even a nutritionist or anything, but I'm learning a lot about health, nutrition, even like the blood test results and the urinalysis. Those numbers were always a mystery to me. But when I started becoming interested in my health, I started wondering what those numbers were all about. So it's an education too. And again, watching these videos, regular people like me, I'm nobody, weak-willed, easily given to temptation, and I see other people making changes and having success. That's motivating. Plenty of information available. All we got to do is use it. Number 8, plan for a big adventure. In my case, I finally got back to hiking a little bit, so I had a big adventure with my hike. Here in Prescott, there's a mountain called Granite Mountain. So my adventure was, and I did it successfully, was to hike up to Blair Pass and back. Now, those of you who know Granite Mountain know that's not a huge hike, but when I started on that program, I could barely walk, like from the bedroom to the living room without hanging on to everything. I could hardly bend over and pick something up off the floor because of the pain. So for me, that was a big adventure. Now I'm going to go on from there to do other things too. But part of the program, part of the motivation was to have a goal out there, something I can't do right now, but something I know I will be able to do at some point in the future. So that's number 8, plan for a big adventure, some kind of a health goal. Now again, in your case, maybe we're not talking about health. Maybe we're talking about a project that you just have trouble finishing. Well, plan that out and set some milestones and some goals that you can achieve toward that. If you look at the whole project all at once, it might seem too huge. I mean, I had to lose 75 pounds. Well, that's an incredible amount of weight. I haven't lost all of it yet, but I have lost 45 pounds, and I'm getting there. So break it down into smaller goals. Number 9, enjoy every victory, even the small ones. So you get on the scales and you see you've lost a pound, or you feel a little bit better on a hike, or you've gotten a little bit further in that project. That's a victory. Even a small one, enjoy it. Number 10, I call it look back down the mountain. And I used to do a lot of backpacking up in the Sierra Nevada mountains. And almost every day we'd have to climb over a mountain pass. And these can be long and steep and arduous. But if you keep looking up at the top, you don't seem to get any closer. So that can be discouraging. But I got in the habit of looking back down the mountain to see where I came from. Oh boy, I've come quite a ways. I was way down in that valley, half an hour ago. So look back at your successes instead of constantly looking at the goal. Number 11, stay in touch with supportive friends. This for me was another one of the tough ones because I've always been a loner. And, maybe just one friend. Maybe you, have a group of people. But stay in touch, exchange ideas, encourage each other. That's a good motivator. I have a friend that lives in another city, never get to see him, but we email quite a bit and we exchange ideas. That's motivating. So it's kind of what they call a community or a tribe. Maybe it would even be an online group, a Facebook group or forum where you talk about things and encourage each other. So number 11 is stay in touch with supportive friends. Number 12, visualize your success. Different people meditate or use visualization in different ways. For me, it's pretty simple. I like to just sit in my recliner, and you might call it taking a nap, but it's not. I don't fall asleep. But I kind of visualize myself, what I would like to look like and feel like. And again, accompanied with emotion. I also have what's called a vision board, where I put a bunch of different pictures of things up there. I've got a picture of the way I used to look when I was young. I've got a picture of a home that I would like to own, a picture of a dollar bill, which I wrote $100,000 on it, and different things like that, pictures of hiking. So it's a vision board. It's in my bedroom, and I see it every morning when I wake up. So visualize your success, yourself, and those things that you're trying to achieve. 13 is regarding plateaus and slips. And I had many, where I just wasn't getting anywhere, or if I just got completely off the program. When that happens, don't beat yourself up. Just get right back on the program that you're working and go forward. If you get discouraged and quit, then you will fail. But if you keep getting back on the program, despite whatever slips or plateaus you hit, you will succeed. And actually, probably, setbacks are part of the learning process, really, and they make you stronger. So don't beat yourself up. If you have a slip, get stuck in a plateau, just get right back up and get going again. That's number 13. And I have a picture here of like the bumpy road to success versus the smooth road to failure. If you're real rigid and everything's got to be perfect, and if you screw up, you're done. Well, that's a nice smooth road going up to a certain point, and then you get discouraged and quit, and it's a smooth road going back down again. Whereas the bumpy road, the general trend is upwards. Number 14 is stay away from the edge. I like to try and plan and execute my plan to stay way away from temptation. Like for me, it's eating junk food and drinking beer, my downfall. So I like to stay way away from that. If I think about something long enough, some unhealthy thing, I'll end up doing it. So I need to stay way clear of that. Clean out the house, stop doing certain activities, make a healthy routine, all those kinds of things. Stay away from the edge. That's number 14. Number 15, and here's another one that was kind of difficult for me. Learn to treat yourself as if you matter. I've always had an inferiority complex, and other people are better than me, and I screw up a lot, and if I got sick or something went wrong, well, probably I deserved it. Well, throughout working the program that I've been working, I'm starting to treat myself as if I matter. There's an old saying, treat other people like you'd want to be treated. Well, for me, in the past, that would not be good because I didn't treat myself very well. So start to respect yourself. Some people would even say love yourself. Realize your self-worth. And you aren't worthless. You do have something to offer. Very important motivator. Number 16, and there are only a couple more, so I'm almost done. Number 16 is think of your health, in my case health, or whatever your project is, think of it as a treasure. I have a metal detector, and I like to go out searching for treasure. And I found some coins, some nice old coins and some jewelry. But what is your health worth? Well, my open heart surgery cost around $100,000. And of course, if I would have died, then it's all over. Or if I have a stroke and can't do much, what is that worth? So your health is like finding a treasure. So I like treasure hunting. I'm not going to find my health or my life under a rock somewhere. It's going to be through working the program that I'm working. So think of the value of your health. That is a treasure. Again, we're talking about motivation. That's 16. Number 17, have a sense of purpose. When I got really sick a year and a half ago, I could have said, okay, well, I got to do something. I'm going to just do what I can. But I said more than that to myself, that I'm going to see if my journey can maybe be helpful to some other people too. If I've discovered some things, like what I'm doing right now is sharing some tips on motivation. If I can discover some things that are helpful, maybe other people can find them helpful too. So that's kind of a sense of purpose, to share the journey to help other people. That's why I wrote the book. And I'm not just plugging the book here today, but in the description down below, I'll put a link to the book page where you can find out more about it for those who want to. And number 18, which is the last tip that I have. I'm sure there are many more that you could think of, but start each day with gratitude. I like to start each day out with a positive approach to the day. Before I get out of bed, I spend a few minutes just laying there thinking what a gift it is to have another day to try and be productive and do some things, and how grateful I am. Now, everybody has different thoughts about a higher power or whatever, but start each day with gratitude. That sets the tone for the day. And do a little planning maybe. Well, I want to do this, I want to do that, and then this afternoon, such and such. And how happy I am to be able to have another day of life to try and accomplish some things. All right, so those are 18 different tips on motivation. I'd love to hear from you, your tips. I'm sure I left a lot of things out. Shoot me an email. I'll put my email address down in the description too.